Hey everybody, this is Alex Dixon with Studio 722 coming back at you with another How I Mix This. This time around we're doing Ticket Home by Andy Kong. And so let's get started. Alright, pretty much with this one I started with the mix bus. My stereo out, I did a little bit of EQ. I boosted some of the lows around, I shelved it up around 60 hertz, and I left the attenuation alone. No high pass, no low pass. And I also pulled out some of the mids around 440 hertz, and I also boosted the highs, and I added a little bit of drive to it. So, but let you listen to what the overall mix sounds like with everything going on.
I see your face in everything that I see. I feel your breath each night while I'm dreaming. You're still waiting for me. You're the one I love the most. Give everything I left you for to let you know. To let you know. You're my ticket home. You're my ticket home. I'm just a fool in the flicker of the stage lights. On the road, another show every night. But I've got your face weighing on the back of my mind. For when life gets heavy, your memory might just remind me of the simple time when you loved me. You loved me. Oh, you served coffee while I was singing in the streets. Open guitar case, hoping that one day we'd save some money. Then I'd ask you to be my one love, one love.
Well, there, now you can get an idea of what the chorus and the intro sound like. There's not a whole heck of a lot to this particular mix because it's all pretty much bus mixing. But pretty much after I got all my levels and panning the way I wanted it, like to hear my drums, my orange is my basses, light green is my guitars, green is my keys, and all the blues are my vocals, and that's just an effect that, let's see, yeah, that's a pad sound. Anyway, from there I went on to the drums, and I did a little bit of a boost down around 60 hertz, and I pulled out around 120, and then I boosted around 2.5k and a little bit up in the 16 and up. And let's see, that's not what I want. This is what the overall drum bus sounds like. You can really hear the thump of the kick. You can hear the crack of the snare pretty easily. And I'm also doing a little bit of transient shaping, adding a little more attack to it. And I think I'm doing a little bit of compression. Yeah, I'm doing some compression, about 6 dBs. And I also have my overheads routed to the main drum bus. And I'm doing some compression with the Audio Damage Rough Rider. This is probably one of my favorite compressors for overheads and room mics, because I'll show you what I can do with it, and I'll just solo the overheads. But, I don't like to have it that heavy sometimes. Well, sometimes I do, But on this particular track, I just gave the overheads a little bit more sustain with this. Oops. Rewind. You know, that's without the Rough Rider. You know, it's a little bit dull and lifeless. And there it is, a little bit of squash. You know, gives it a little more crack, a little more, you know, just a little more oomph. And then from there, I went on to the bass, and I pulled out a lot of the highs, and I high passed it a little bit up to about 90 hertz to kind of get rid of some of the rumble before I saturated it. And here's what that sounds like. Well, hang on. That's without the saturation. And let's see. Let's get back to a point where the bass is going. You know, and I'm also doing a little bit of compression here. And then from there, I added saturation with the saturation knob. And from there, I went back to Alloy 2 again. And I notched out about 153 hertz where it was like really, really resonant. And I also added a wide boost over 61, and it goes all the way up to about 1K. And, you know, I left the highs alone because I wanted to give it more rumble. So that way I can have the lows I need, but not interfere with the kick drum. And I believe I'm also doing a little bit of compression here as well.
Yeah, I so blue saying about you, no.
Yeah, I'm also doing some compression there as well. And then from there we go on to the acoustic guitars. All I did was I just used the envelope shaper on the acoustics to kind of pull out some of the plucking of the strings. Like, I'll show you. You hear how it kind of smooths out the strings just a little bit? It's more noticeable in the mix than it is by itself. But then I pretty much didn't do anything to the electrics, but on the actual guitars bus, which I have the acoustics and electrics routed to, I'm doing some compression, pretty much using the preset here on the Red 3 compressor, and I'm getting about a dB or two of compression with a little bit of makeup gain. So, you know, and then I'm using one of my favorite EQs, the Boot EQ Mark II, to pull out some mid frequencies around 350 or a little bit lower than that. And I'm also doing, I'm also high passing up to about 80 hertz or something like that. Yeah, that's around 80 hertz. And I'm also using a little bit of saturation with the vintage and the tube, and I'm driving it a little hard. And then from there, I take it into Isotope Alloy 2, and I pull down more of the transients, and I'm not really doing any compression here, because I just didn't think it really needed it. And then from there, I worked on the vocals. I have 3 vocal buses. Whoops. Shoot. Yeah, I have 3 vocal buses, lead vocals, background vocals, and all vocals. I pretty much have all the I have lead vocals and background vocals separated onto these 2 buses, and then I have those 2 buses routed to the all vocals. And on the lead vocals, I'm really compressing them really hard with this 1176 vintage compressor that comes with Cubase.
Things I've done, just give me a sign. We on the red eye, first flight, headed right back to you. So take it home. You're my ticket home.
As you can see, it's pegging the needle pretty hard. And then from there, I go into Alloy 2 again, and I do a little bit of EQ, add a little bit of high mids, and then I boost a little bit of the low end and to give it a little more weight, and with a high pass filter upwards of about 65 hertz, and I'm pulling out a little bit of 240 to kind of just pretty much even it out a little bit. And then I'm doing some de-essing, and after that I did the background vocals, and I'm getting a little bit of compression with Red 3.
There's truth in the night and proof in the sacrifice.
Okay, well, it looks like I'm just running it through for flavor.
It's you're the light that shines when I'm running blind. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm running it through for a little bit of flavor. And then the all vocals bus, I'm adding a little bit of mids around, well, high mids around 10K, probably about 10.5. And then I'm pulling out about 500 or, around 500 or 700, something in between 500 and 700. I believe that's 600 right there. But I'm pulling about 4 dBs out, and I'm also pulling out some high end to kind of give the vocals a little bit darker tone. Well, those are the background vocals. Well, no, that was the all vocals. And I pretty much have some sends going to, I have my all vocals going to a plate, I have my keys going to a large reverb, and I have my drums going to the huge reverb. Well, huge and large, so what. But yeah, that's pretty much the mix overall. I got all my routing, I got all my inserts. Pretty much I started with the static mix of going through, adjusting levels and panning, and then I went over to my mix bus, EQ'd a little bit, limited it to kind of control the peaks just a tad. And then I went through and added everything I needed to do, and pretty much to control everything and give it its final sound. Anyway, that's the song for this month of How I Mix This. This was Take It Home by Andy Kong, and this has been your mix engineer, Alex Dixon, with Studio 722. Have a blessed day, y'all. Bye.